Hello, this is the Bible in Fewer Words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 137, 1 Kings chapter 13. If you enjoy this podcast and the Skeptics Annotated Bible website, consider supporting us at patreon.com/BFW. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
Glad you could join us today.
Yeah.
I mean, join me. I'm talking like I'm God.
Aha.
I should know better. So this is chapter 13. I hope that doesn't bode for how it's going to go for us. You know, unlucky 13.
No.
Okay.
Not a big believer in that either.
I think we should just move ahead.
Yeah, except for I forgot something in the last episode, and I've added it to the text.
Okay, what was it?
Well, remember how Jeroboam in Israel built these two altars?
Yes,
And they had the golden calves.
2 golden calves.
There were 2 different places. One was at the northern end of the northern kingdom in Dan, and the other was at the very southern point of the kingdom in Bethel.
Okay.
And they had these 2 places where they offered sacrifices, I guess, to these golden calves. Mm-hmm. And they did it at exactly the same time as the big feast days where they were making sacrifices in Jerusalem and Judah.
Was this so that people didn't have to travel so far?
Yeah, Israel is bigger
Okay.
than Judah, and it extends all the way from Dan down to Bethel.
Okay.
So it was covering the extremes geographically of Israel.
Okay.
But Jerusalem is in Judah, and it wouldn't be safe for people in Israel to go down into Judah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No, I'm just talking about Israel. How Israel is long and skinny.
I don't know if it was made for it so it would be convenient for them. I have no idea. But there were 2 of them.
Okay.
One was in the south, one was in the north.
Perfect. All right. Rehoboam was in Judah,
Yes.
and Jerob was in Israel. In Israel, are they worshiping other gods? Or is God the God?
Oh, well, no, it's all messed up. I mean, you remember Solomon. He was in Jerusalem,
yes.
and he was worshiping all kinds of different gods with his different wives. So there are a lot of different gods being worshipped, both in Judah and in Israel.
Oh, everybody's in trouble.
Yeah, there's like these gods on every hilltop, and they're worshiping them, and it's making God go crazy, right, all the time.
Yes.
So yes, there are many different gods that are being worshipped by the neighboring countries, and in Israel and Judah themselves.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad we went over that.
Okay.
I guess I must have been sleeping last
Maybe,
time.
yeah.
Okay, so chapter 13, verse 1. A man of God from Judah came to Bethel, while Jerob burned incense by the altar.
The man of God stood by the altar and said, by the word of God, "O altar, altar, this is what God says."
So he's talking to the altar.
Talking to the altar, yeah.
Okay. A boy named Josiah will be born from the house of David, who will sacrifice the priests who are burning incense to you. Men's bones will be burned on you. So he's talking to the altar.
Yeah, this guy Josiah is going to be born sometime in the future, and it turns out that it's going to be fulfilled by Josiah about 300 years later.
Okay. So verse 3. And he gave a sign, saying, "This is God's sign. The altar will be ripped apart, and the ashes that are on it will be poured out."
When King Jeroboam heard what the man of God said, he said, "Arrest him."
But Jerob's hand dried up so that he couldn't use it anymore. Well, wait a minute. He needed to point to him or something to say, "Arrest that man"?
I think he couldn't arrest him because he was so scared, right? Because
yes.
God had just dried up his hand.
Yes. Okay. Then the altar split and all of its ashes poured out.
He just said it was going to happen. Now it's happened. Right.
Right here, right there in front of him.
Right. So this thing about Josiah is he made that big prophecy. This other thing about the altar splitting happened right there.
So it's going to happen. So it happened right there, and it's going to happen 300 years from
I think the main point is going to happen 300 years or sometime in the future.
Okay.
It's going to happen. And the sign that it's going to happen is that I'm just splitting the altar right now.
Okay.
So you can believe what I'm going to say. See?
Yes. King Jerob said to the man of God, "Ask God to restore my hand." And the man of God asked God, and God restored his hand. Okay, this is just kind of silly, isn't it?
Silly?
I guess if you're Jerob, it's not silly.
Well, of course it's silly. I mean, this is the Bible. But what happened here is
A big thing.
God messed with his hand, made it so he couldn't use his hand anymore. That freaked him out. He asked the man of God to restore his hand.
Or to ask God.
To ask God to restore his hand. His hand is restored.
Okay.
So yes, it's silly, but that's what's going on here. Okay, verse 7. Then King Jerob said to the man of God, "Come to my house and refresh yourself. I'll give you a reward."
And the man of God said, "Even if you gave me half of your kingdom, I wouldn't eat or drink at your house. Because the word of God came to me saying, don't eat food or drink water, and don't return the same way that you came."
So the man of God didn't return the same way that he came to Bethel.
Verse 11. There was an old prophet who lived in Bethel. This is a different guy?
Yep.
All right.
We have the man of God and then we have a prophet.
His sons told him what the man of God from Judah said and did that day while he was in Bethel. The old prophet said to them, "Which way did he go?"
"Saddle a donkey for me." So they saddled a donkey for him and he rode off.
The old prophet found a man of God sitting under an oak tree and said to him,
"Come to my house and eat some bread."
And the man of God said, "I can't return with you. Go to your house and eat bread or drink water with you. Because the word of God told me, don't eat bread, drink water, or return the way that you came."
The old prophet said, "I am a prophet like you, and an angel spoke to me the word of God, saying, bring that man back to your house so he can eat and drink some water." But the old prophet was lying to him. This little statement about the prophet lying is a parenthetical in the Bible that's explaining to readers that he's lying here.
Yeah. So verse 19. So the man of God went back to the old prophet's house and ate bread in his house and drank water. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
As they sat at the table, the word of God came to the old prophet. And the old prophet said to the man of God, "This is what God says. Since you disobeyed the mouth of God and came back, ate bread, and drank water in the place that God told you not to, your carcass won't be buried in the sepulchre of your fathers."
So, like when he dies, he can't be buried with
He's not going to be buried
family.
with his family. Yeah, it doesn't sound like such a
Horrible
big deal.
thing.
Yeah. It's okay.
So verse 23. After the man of God ate bread and drank water, the old prophet saddled the donkey for the man of God.
The man of God rode off on the donkey, but a lion met him on the way and killed him. The man of God's carcass was on the road with the donkey and the lion standing by it.
So it might have meant more to him if he knew he was going to die that day. You know, the whole thing
Yeah,
about
he
not
should
being
have.
buried.
You would think that the old prophet could have told him a little bit more than that, or given him a little bit more of a warning or something.
Like you're going to die today.
Yeah, you're going to die. Lion's going to eat you. Yeah.
Jeepers. So people passed by and saw the carcass with the lion standing by, and they came and told people in the city where the old prophet lived.
When the old prophet heard what the people had said, he said, "The man of God disobeyed the word of God, so God sent a lion to rip him apart according to the word of the Lord."
Okay, so the old prophet set him up to do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem quite fair.
Well, there's the old prophet and God. They're working together on this.
Oh, great.
So it's weird. It really is strange because the man of God, this is all starting off with the man of God definitely being a man of God, because he was able to split the altar and do all of that stuff, make this prophecy about Josiah and everything. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a man of God from Judah, which is God's country.
Yes. Like Montana.
Yeah. Whereas the other guy, the prophet, was from Bethel, which is in Israel, so a little bit less favored by God, I guess, than Judah.
Yeah.
But they're both prophets. They're both men of God, because God is speaking through both of them. And he's just messing with both of them.
Yes, he is. And we know that the second guy, the prophet, is lying.
Yeah, he's lying. And I guess God's okay with that. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. It seems like if anybody in this whole story was going to be punished for something, it would be that old prophet.
The liar.
It was the old prophet here that lied to this guy.
Yeah.
The old prophet found the man of God's carcass. The lion hadn't eaten the carcass or ripped up the donkey.
Oh, good. The old prophet laid the man of God's carcass on his donkey and brought him back to the city.
Then the old prophet mourned the man of God, saying, "Alas, my brother."
Yeah, too little, too late. The old prophet said to his sons, "When I die, bury my body next to the body of the man of God." Because the man of God's prophecy about the altar in Bethel will come to pass.
After this, Jeroboam returned to his evil ways.
That is just a crazy story.
Uh-huh.
So all that really happened for nothing.
Yeah.
And a guy died because Jerob,
Uh-huh.
our new name,
Uh-huh.
was bad. This message was sent to tell him don't be bad anymore.
Oh, you're trying to figure out why some of this happened? No, I don't think that's possible.
Never mind.
I mean, we could try, but
Just a crazy story.
it's a crazy, vicious story.
Okay, well, thanks for relaying this story to me, Steve.
Sure.
And thanks, listeners. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.